Have you ever faced a moment when fear whispered louder than your dreams, when doubt seemed to surround every step you wanted to take? Imagine for a moment that courage isn't just a fleeting feeling, but the foundation that allows every other part of you to thrive. Your clarity, your honesty, your persistence, and even your kindness. Abraham Lincoln, a man who faced immense adversity, reminded us that courage is the first of human qualities because it guarantees all the others. Today, this is not just a lesson from history. It is a call to your life, to your choices, and to the way you face each challenge. Every time you hesitate, every time fear tries to convince you to stay small, remember that stepping forward, even with uncertainty, is what shapes the rest of who you are. By staying with this video until the end, you'll uncover not just stories from Lincoln's life, but practical reflections to help you strengthen your courage, to act decisively, and to live boldly in a world that often tests our limits. And if you haven't yet, take a moment to subscribe. It isn't just about following a channel, it's about choosing to surround yourself with ideas and guidance that push you to grow, that remind you daily of your inner strength and potential. In the end, courage is more than bravery. It is the quiet force that allows you to claim your own life, your own decisions, and your own destiny. Abraham Lincoln once faced the unbearable weight of uncertainty, not just as a leader, but as a man trying to find his place in the world. Before becoming president, he endured failed businesses, lost elections, and personal heartbreaks that could have stopped anyone in their tracks. Yet each time he fell, he returned with the same quiet determination, refusing to surrender to fear or despair. Imagine what that resilience means for you today, in your career, in your relationships, in those moments when the path ahead seems unclear or overwhelming. Courage isn't about ignoring fear, it's about feeling it, acknowledging it, and moving forward anyway. It is the force that allows you to rise after a setback, to speak your truth even when it feels uncomfortable, and to take the small yet decisive steps that build the life you want. Ask yourself, what would happen if you met your own fears with that same steady resolve? If every time doubt whispered that you weren't enough, you acted anyway, trusting that courage would carry the rest? This is the lesson Lincoln left us. Courage opens the door to everything else. When you choose to face life boldly, you cultivate patience, empathy, and clarity as natural extensions of your actions. Reflect for a moment on the areas of your life where hesitation has held you back. What might change if you let courage lead first, allowing all other qualities to follow naturally? Writing down your fears or sharing your struggles in the comments can be a small, powerful act of courage, and it may remind someone else that they are not alone in facing theirs. Long before Abraham Lincoln became a symbol of leadership and wisdom, he was a man who wrestled daily with his own doubts and insecurities. There were times when the weight of failure and rejection pressed so heavily upon him that surrender might have seemed easier than persistence. Yet in those moments he chose courage, not loud, dramatic bravery, but the quiet, steady decision to face what was difficult and continue forward. Think about your own life for a moment. The challenges that feel too big to confront, the conversations you've postponed, the risks you've avoided because the fear of embarrassment or failure seemed overwhelming. Courage is not the absence of these fears, but the decision to act in spite of them. Every time you step forward despite uncertainty, you are practicing the same principle that guided Lincoln through his darkest hours. Courage allows you to speak your truth, even when it shakes your comfort, to take decisive steps toward your goals, even when the path ahead is obscured, to stay committed to your values, even when the world seems to reward compromise. It is the quiet force that transforms hesitation into action and potential into achievement. Consider how often you've waited for perfect conditions that never arrived, how often you've told yourself that now isn't the right moment, only to see opportunities slip away. Lincoln teaches us that waiting for fear to disappear is a trap. It never fully goes away, but courage is what turns waiting into doing, doubt into decision, and vision into reality. This is why courage is foundational. It guarantees all the other qualities we admire in ourselves and others. Without it, honesty may falter, patience may wane, and integrity can be compromised. With it, every action becomes infused with purpose. Every decision is anchored in self-trust, and every obstacle becomes a lesson rather than a barrier. Reflect now. What is one step, no matter how small, that you can take today that feels uncomfortable yet necessary. Sharing it in the comments may inspire not only your own commitment, but also encourage others who are silently waiting for the courage to act. Courage, after all, multiplies when witnessed and shared. It grows in the presence of those willing to confront the fears that bind them. One of the most remarkable aspects of Abraham Lincoln's courage was how it intertwined with his ability to make decisions under pressure, often in situations where every choice carried profound consequences. Imagine standing at a crossroads where every option comes with risk, where public opinion, personal safety, and moral responsibility collide, and yet a choice must be made. This was Lincoln's reality during the turbulent years of his presidency, when the nation teetered on the brink of collapse and the wrong move could cost lives and history itself. The lesson for you is clear. Courage doesn't manifest only in grand gestures or heroic acts. It emerges most powerfully in moments when you must face uncertainty and act despite fear. In your life, whether it's a difficult conversation at work, confronting a toxic relationship, or deciding to pursue a dream that others doubt, your courage enables clarity. Your courage strengthens your judgment, and your courage gives you the freedom to align action with principle. It is the quiet, unwavering force that allows you to remain calm when emotion threatens to cloud reason, and decisive when hesitation tempts you to retreat. Courage also teaches patience and emotional intelligence. Lincoln was known for listening, observing, and weighing perspectives before acting, yet he never let indecision become paralysis. He understood that fear can distort reality, magnify doubts, and delay action, but when faced with challenges, he met them directly, with both humility and resolve. Think about your own life. How often do you let fear dictate the timing of your choices, or allow anxiety to convince you that waiting longer will make things safer or easier? Courage interrupts that cycle. It does not eliminate discomfort, but it gives you the strength to navigate it skillfully. By practicing courage in small ways daily, holding a hard conversation, expressing a difficult truth, standing firm in your values, you build the same muscle Lincoln relied upon, one that allows you to act decisively when it matters most. You might even find that with courage, your fears shrink and what once felt impossible becomes manageable. But courage is also deeply connected to integrity. Lincoln's leadership was not only about bold action, it was about doing what was right, even when the stakes were high and opposition was fierce. Courage without principle is recklessness. Fear without courage leads to stagnation. Consider the times in your life when taking the ethical path felt daunting or inconvenient. Those are the moments where courage shapes your character most profoundly. When you choose courage to act ethically, even in private or when unnoticed by others, you are strengthening the foundation of your inner authority. You are training yourself to be the person who does not crumble under pressure, who does not compromise their values for comfort or approval, and who recognizes that lasting success is inseparable from moral strength. Reflect for a moment. What is one decision you've been avoiding because it scares you or challenges your comfort? Imagine how different your life would be if you met that moment with courage, trusting that your principles and judgment will carry you through. Courage also becomes contagious. Just as Lincoln's quiet bravery inspired a nation to persevere through unimaginable trials, your acts of courage ripple outward, affecting relationships, communities, and even the smallest interactions around you. Have you noticed how a single person willing to speak up, to act with honesty, or to face a difficult truth can change the energy in a room, a team, or a family? That is the transformative power of courage. Every time you choose it, even in subtle ways, you reinforce resilience, model integrity, and invite others to rise to their potential. Consider commenting below one courageous act you are committing to this week, not to boast, but to declare it in your life and give others permission to do the same. In doing so, you not only strengthen your own resolve but also create a quiet movement of courage, reminding yourself and others that bravery is less about heroism and more about consistency, integrity, and the will to act despite fear. There will be moments in your life when everything seems to weigh too heavily on your shoulders, when challenges pile up and fear whispers that you might not be strong enough to continue. In those moments, courage is what allows you to stand, to take a step forward even when the path is unclear. It is the force that keeps you moving when despair wants to hold you back, that turns setbacks into lessons rather than dead ends. Think of the times you've faced disappointment, loss, or uncertainty, moments that could have stopped you entirely. Each time you choose to face those moments rather than retreat, you are exercising courage, and with each act you strengthen every other part of yourself: patience, clarity, determination, and integrity. Courage guarantees the qualities that allow you not just to survive but to thrive, even in the midst of struggle. Sometimes courage is quiet, almost invisible, yet its impact is profound. It shows when you choose to speak your truth in a difficult conversation, when you set boundaries even though it may upset others, when you take responsibility for your life instead of blaming circumstances or waiting for someone else to fix things. Each of these choices, though small in appearance, carries enormous power because they shape who you are and who you are becoming. Consider the areas of your life where fear has been holding you back. What might change if you acted anyway? What doors could open? What confidence could grow if you refuse to let hesitation dictate your path? Courage transforms ordinary decisions into milestones of growth, showing that strength is not always loud but consistent, deliberate, and deeply personal. Courage also allows you to endure, not by numbing yourself to difficulty, but by facing it head-on with intention. When challenges arise, whether in your work, your relationships, or your personal goals, it is the choice to keep going that makes the difference. The discomfort, the uncertainty, the pressure, all of it becomes a tool to refine your character, to strengthen your resolve, and to clarify what truly matters. You do not need to be fearless to act. You only need to acknowledge fear and move through it. Every step you take in spite of doubt, every action that defies hesitation, is a demonstration of courage that shapes your inner strength and sets the stage for all other qualities you want to cultivate in your life. Finally, remember that your courage has a ripple effect. When you act bravely, when you choose integrity over convenience, when you persevere despite hardship, you are not only building your own character, but inspiring those around you. People notice even the subtle ways you stand firm, and your example can give them permission to face their own fears. Reflect now. What is one challenge in your life that has felt too heavy to confront, and how might you take a courageous step toward it today? Even a small act can become a turning point, not just for you, but for the people who witness your determination. By choosing courage, you claim your power, transform your hardships into growth, and create a life that is guided by deliberate, purposeful action rather than fear. Life will test you in ways that feel relentless, presenting choices that challenge your patience, judgment, and self-control. Courage is the key that allows you to navigate these moments with clarity, ensuring that fear, frustration, or doubt do not dictate your actions. Consider the small daily decisions you face, how you respond to criticism, how you handle conflict, how you manage your own impulses. Every time you choose to act thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, you are exercising courage, and with it, you reinforce every other quality you hope to embody: discipline, wisdom, empathy, and resilience. The truth is, courage is not reserved for extraordinary moments. It is forged in the ordinary, repeated acts of conscious choice, the quiet victories where no one else is watching but your own conscience. Imagine how much more powerful your life would feel if each decision, no matter how mundane, was guided by courage and self-trust. When someone challenges you unfairly, when frustration threatens to take over a conversation, when you feel the urge to abandon a goal because it seems too difficult, these are the opportunities to practice courage. Choosing the harder path, the path aligned with your values and long-term vision, strengthens you in ways that comfort never could. Courage allows you to pause before reacting, to consider your next step carefully, and to act with integrity, transforming even challenging circumstances into moments of growth. Reflect on your recent decisions. Which ones were shaped by fear or impulse, and which were guided by deliberate, courageous action? Recognizing the difference is the first step toward taking control of your own life. Courage also empowers you to embrace vulnerability. There are times when admitting a mistake, asking for help, or expressing your true feelings feels terrifying, but these acts are often the most transformative. By meeting these fears with courage, you deepen your self-awareness, build stronger relationships, and create an inner resilience that no external challenge can shake. Think about the conversations you have avoided, the truths you have hidden, or the dreams you have postponed because of fear. Each moment you choose honesty and action over avoidance, you strengthen not only your character, but also your confidence. Courage turns discomfort into clarity, hesitation into momentum, and doubt into deliberate action. Another powerful aspect of courage is its ability to foster perspective. When you face challenges with courage, you begin to see obstacles not as permanent barriers, but as temporary tests of your resolve and opportunity for growth. Life will continue to present hardships, disappointments, and uncertainty, but with courage as your foundation, you develop the ability to respond rather than react, to act with intention rather than emotion. This perspective transforms your mindset. Fear no longer controls you, and adversity becomes a mirror reflecting your inner strength. Ask yourself, what area of your life has been clouded by fear or doubt, and how could courage allow you to see it differently, to act differently, and ultimately to thrive? Finally, remember that courage compounds over time. Each decision guided by bravery, each act of persistence, each moment of self-control builds upon the last, creating a life of greater freedom, purpose, and fulfillment. It shapes not only your character, but the trajectory of your entire life. Reflect on the person you are becoming. Are your choices cultivating fear, or are they strengthening courage, integrity, and resilience? By choosing courage daily, you guarantee that the qualities you admire, wisdom, patience, decisiveness, and compassion, become a natural part of who you are. This is your invitation to step forward, to act boldly in alignment with your values, and to let every choice reinforce the strength that already exists within you. The life you want is not given. It is forged by the courage you summon, one deliberate, fearless step at a time. As you reflect on your life, it becomes clear that courage is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Every choice you make, every moment you face uncertainty, every time you resist the pull of fear or doubt, you are exercising the quality that guarantees all others. Courage is the lens through which you see possibilities instead of obstacles, clarity instead of confusion, growth instead of stagnation. Imagine how different your days would feel if each decision were guided not by hesitation, regret, or worry, but by deliberate courage, the kind that allows you to trust yourself, to trust your instincts, and to act in alignment with your values. The life you imagine is built one courageous step at a time, each choice reinforcing your ability to persevere, adapt, and thrive in ways that fear could never allow. Think about the challenges you have faced recently. How often have you waited for circumstances to feel right, for fear to disappear, or for someone else to make the decision for you? Life rarely waits, and perfection is an illusion. Courage allows you to step forward anyway, even when conditions are uncertain, even when you feel unprepared. By doing so, you teach yourself that growth comes from action, not waiting, from persistence, not avoidance, and from resilience, not surrender. Each courageous act compounds, shaping not only your character but your future. You will find that challenges that once felt insurmountable become manageable, doubts begin to dissolve, and confidence emerges, not from comfort, but from consistent, deliberate courage. Courage also deepens your connection to yourself and to others. When you act bravely, speak your truth, or stand firm in your values, you inspire trust, respect, and admiration. Those around you notice the consistency, integrity, and strength that radiates from someone willing to face life fully. It creates an energy that draws people toward you, not because you are flawless, but because you are real, accountable, and willing to confront fear head-on. Reflection is powerful, but action is transformative. Consider the people in your life who look to you. Your choices, your courage, and your persistence shape their perception of what is possible. Each courageous step you take benefits not just you, but the world around you. Now take a moment to commit to yourself, to your life, to the possibilities that courage can unlock. Ask yourself, what is one act of bravery I will take today, however small, that challenges fear and reinforces my strength? Write it down, say it aloud, or share it with someone who can hold you accountable. By doing this, you are not only claiming control over your life, you are creating a pattern that ensures every decision moving forward is infused with integrity, confidence, and resilience. Courage is contagious. The more you act with it, the more it spreads to every area of your life, building momentum toward the life you truly desire. Finally, remember that courage is the foundation of everything else you aspire to be. It guarantees patience when tests arise, clarity when confusion clouds your mind, decisiveness when hesitation beckons, and perseverance when obstacles appear. It is the quiet force that allows you to transform fear into action, doubt into clarity, and challenge into opportunity. If you commit today to cultivating this courage consistently, you are investing not just in your present, but in every version of yourself that is waiting to emerge. If this message resonated with you, subscribe and like this content, not because it is easy, but because surrounding yourself with ideas that nurture courage will help you continue to grow, act boldly, and live fully. Your life is yours to shape, and courage is the key that unlocks everything you are capable of becoming.